this is Johnny Jones with co-host Chris Ryan in the second episode of Beverly High School Sports Center, your marquee network for all of your Beverly High School sports updates.
Yeah, we've got a great show for you planned today, and here's some of the big headlines of the week.
Yeah, boys cross country coming out hot with a record of 6-0. The boys are running great. They're led by senior Brian McPherson along with George Fox, Jack Laganis, also the young Frosh. Jackson Wood is running tremendous for the boys. They're playing really great right now.
Yeah, they got a big meeting against Peabody, and hopefully they can pull in the dub.
Yeah, hopefully.
Next up, we're going to discuss field hockey. And they actually just had a big win against their NEC rival, Marblehead.
The field hockey team is another team that's playing really good right now. They've got underclassmen such as Abby Otterbein and Megan Control hitting the ball really well, alongside senior leadership from Maddie Rennie, Maria Smallman, and Amanda Rosenborger. They've struggled early on the season, but right now they've picked it up and they rallied with a big win against Marblehead. Their record still stands at 4-3, but they still have a lot of games left to play and they can really turn it around for a good season.
Somebody called the fire department because the boys soccer team is on fire with their record of 9-1-1.
Yeah, seniors Brian Hardy and Leo Fongo playing great with Connor Cadmentori between the pipes. The team's doing really well right now. They have one loss to Danvers and one tie to Swampscott, but they'll get a rematch against Danvers on Halloween night at 6:45. Be there in Danvers. It's going to be a tremendous game. Everyone should go. And if they win that game, they've got a great bid to either win or tie the NEC this year. That's it for intro right now. We've got a great show planned for you today. We've got a couple interviews and a couple segments that are going to be really good.
Stay tuned.
Hello, once again, this is Johnny Jones with soccer goalkeeper Connor Cadmentori. How are you doing today, Connor?
Pretty good, Johnny. How are you?
I'm doing great. So how's the season gone so far?
It's been a pretty good season. We weren't expecting, I guess, to be this good. We had a lot of seniors graduate last year, and we've had a lot of guys step up and fill their shoes.
Biggest surprises so far?
The biggest surprise has probably been the defense because we lost all 4 starters on defense, or all 5 starters, really, and we were really looking for some people to step up, and we've done a pretty good job keeping 5 clean sheets in 11 games.
Yeah, that's great. So besides the defense, obviously, is there any other adversity or struggles that the team has faced so far?
In terms of struggles, recently we've struggled to score some goals. We had a tough 0-0 draw with Swampscott last week, but I think we'll turn it around coming into some bigger games towards the end of the season.
How's the NEC looking this year?
The NEC is really competitive this year. There's probably 4 teams that can win it at this point. Danvers, who's undefeated, us, Swampscott, and Revere is another tough one.
Oh, really? What are the big games so far? Like to close out the season, what big games are coming up?
Coming up, we've got Revere and Danvers. Those are probably our 2 biggest games. Danvers is under the lights on Halloween. That could be the NEC title game, depending on how the rest of the season gets going. You being a goalkeeper, what's your favorite part about playing goalie? My favorite part about playing goalie is probably just being able to see the whole field from where I am and being able to see what's going on everywhere and try and help people out verbally and get everyone going.
Is it ever tempting to take the ball up or play the field a little bit?
Maybe in practice, but in games I'd probably get benched if I did something like that.
When's your favorite time to play? Obviously, like there's night games under the lights, which is going to be Halloween night, or there's midday, maybe on the weekends and mornings.
I think definitely night games are the most exciting games. Like we had a night game a couple nights ago. It was against Salem, who aren't very good, but still, playing under the lights is always fun.
Yeah, whole different experience, a whole different feel to it. What's your favorite stadium in the NEC? Obviously, we've got the Turf Frankfurt Field out here, but some other teams maybe bad or good.
I think probably my favorite stadium is the Manning Bowl.
Oh.
It's one of the biggest around, but I mean, we haven't played in the new Danvers Stadium yet, but I think we'll probably like that on Halloween.
Oh yeah, but I got a chance to see a game at the new Danvers one. Great experience, great place to watch a game. How's the team chemistry this year? Obviously, you said earlier that you lost a lot of seniors, lost a lot of leadership, so do you think it's better than last year? Is it different? Like, how do you think it is?
I think last year there was more chemistry because there had been so many people on the team for so long, and I think we have 14 new kids on the team this year, but we've built some pretty good chemistry and things have been going pretty well.
What has been your favorite game this year?
My favorite game would probably have to be the Marblehead game, where they were a good team that we were coming up against them. I think it was 0-0 at halftime. In the second half, we just dominated and ended up winning 3-0 and played probably our best soccer of the season.
Well, hello, my name is Johnny Jones, usual host for Sports Center, and this is Kevin Flaherty, the Northeast Conference football leading analyst. Today we call this segment Contender or Pretender. I'm going to name off a couple teams, and my friend Kevin, he's just going to tell you a little bit about each team, and he's going to tell him, is that team a contender or are they a pretender in the NEC this year? Ready? We're going to start off easy. Marblehead Magicians, what are they looking like this year, Kevin?
Coach Rudloff, he's really got the boys buying in. They're playing fantastic. Drew Galley stepped up to be the quarterback this year. He's a senior. He can pass. He's got plenty of options. He's got Craig, Sears, and they even moved Millett to the line to help them out there, which has been helping Lopez out a ton.
Yeah, I know, and you can't say enough about this guy Lopez. Lopez is having a tremendous year so far. He's second in the Northeast in rushing with 600 yards and about 7 touchdowns right now. So what do you think they are?
I think they're a contender.
Next up, Danvers. How are the Falcons looking?
The Falcons, they have a gigantic line, which has been really helping Matt Andrews, who's the leading rusher in the NEC. They feed him about 30 times. They really have a great time of possession. They're probably the leader in rushing yards in total offense. And their defense is incredible. They run plenty of stunts, blitzes. You just never know where it's coming as an opposing offense.
Yeah, and also, Quinn Hall, fullback, middle linebacker, he's playing tremendous for them. The only problem with he got hurt late in the Lynn English game. That's going to be a big question mark for them if he can come back to the team or is he out for the season, I think. But what do you think they are?
It depends on Quinn Hall and Taj Copley, who's also injured, but ultimately, without those weapons, pretender.
Okay, and now next, Beverly Panthers. What do you think about the hometown team?
The hometown team, they got plenty of weapons all around. You got Chenard, Hugh, Kevin Flaherty, myself, great Morancian quarterback on offense, and a young line, but the more experience they get, the better they get each game. And on defense, you got guys like yourself.
Thanks.
You got Hugh, Shares. Our D-line is amazing with the Twin Towers and Justin Cattell and Pat Gavin. There's just a lot of experience there, a lot of heart, a lot of pride. Just too much athleticism to fail.
So your prediction?
Contender.
Next, Peabody. What do you say about the Tanners?
Peabody they have talent scattered throughout their team. They have obviously a very good dual threat quarterback in D'Amato, and he has great options like Jake Doherty. Their defense has been sketchy at times, but their offense holds up.
So you think?
I think they're going to be a pretender.
Really? Okay, now what about the Bulldogs of Lynn English?
The Bulldogs of Lynn English, arguably one of my favorite teams. I love their quarterback, Severance. The dude's all over the place. He's like
playing phenomenal so far.
He's Houdini in the pocket. You think you have him. He escapes. He can throw down fields. He's got great vision, and his speed is something that you just got to look out for.
Yeah, dangerous in the pocket, this guy. And plus, when he gets space, he's got a lot of athletes out there in the slot, out wide receiver, a lot of good tight ends, deep in the tight end this year. And so I think if he can get out of the pocket, he can get these guys the ball. So your prediction?
If their defense holds up, contender.
Yeah, I think so too. I think they're going to surprise a lot of teams. They play late in the fourth quarter, and if that holds up, they're gonna do great this year. Next up, Swampy, the Big Blue. What do you think?
Swampscott, they're not getting enough attention. They have an amazing connection quarterback wide receiver with Frary and Larizi. I mean, that's probably the best passing duo in the entire NEC. I mean, they might be undersized, but the way they play is phenomenal.
Yeah, I know. Like, you can't say enough about these two guys. Larizi's leading the Northeast in receiving yards, with Frary second in passing yards just behind the Masco QB, and they're just playing great together. So if that connection holds up, I think they'll be pretty good this year. Where do you put them?
Their offense is great, but their defense has been sketchy.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna have to say pretender.
Yeah, I know. Me too. Now we're gonna move to our. Oh wait. Also. Sorry, I forgot about Salem. What do you think about the Witches this year?
They've been pretty bad in past years, but I think that's motivated them in the offseason to lift, and they have a gigantic offensive line that no one's recognizing. And with Vinny Gaskins running the ball the way he
Running
is,
the ball great, yeah.
And Lubis has been passing the ball great, and has also been another valid running threat to other teams. So for that reason, I'm gonna say they're contender.
Okay, next lightning round. I'm gonna name off a couple teams. I'm gonna give a short, brief, sentence, and then say what they are. First up, Lynn Classical.
Lynn Classical. I mean, you don't hear enough about their quarterback, to be honest. He was injured the first couple of games, but he really came back strong, and they had to run the ball a ton early on in the season, but since he's come back, they've been one of the best passing offenses in the league. And so I'm going to say Contender.
What about Revere?
Revere. They have a lot of athletes, a lot of skill, but they struggle playing 4 quarters, and for that reason, Pretender.
Masco.
Masco. It's just not their year this year. They lost a lot of key guys in the line. They've been having trouble trying to replace them, and it's really hurt their rushing offense and their passing offense. So, Pretender.
Haverhill.
Haverhill. Honestly, they have some really skilled kids. Their line is probably the biggest in the whole entire conference.
Yeah, they really got a great push up front this year.
They really do. So they can go 4 quarters with you, and that's impressive. But it depends if their new quarterback, after the injury to the old one, can step up. And so for that reason, I'll say Pretender unless the QB steps up.
I want to thank you for your time. It was great having you here. Thank you, Kevin.
Thanks very much.